Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to another episode of Estancia Lapacho, our Farming Simulator 17 Platinum Farm. It's been a little while since we were here actually. Obviously I'm in the middle of moving, so my time is very stretched at the moment. But I'm going to try and batch record a whole load of episodes today so we can keep the series running for a few days without any real interruption. Give me a chance to get a bit more sort of packing and transporting of stuff done. And so, as you can see, our sugarcane is starting to grow in quite nicely. Our first two fields over here are in their first stage of growth. And this is the final application, I think, of... actually, no, this is the second stage of growth. I think this is the final stage of fertilizer that they need. Let's take a look. Yes, so our soybean crop on field 14 is ready to go, and we'll be starting harvesting that in just a moment. As you can see, our sugarcane is getting its final application of fertilizer right now, and I've also been very busy doing a lot of contract work. So financially, we have a zero balance loan again, and we're holding around about $50,000 in cash on hand. So we should just be able to afford the sugarcane harvester that we wanted. And we can just. So let's go ahead and buy that right now while we have the money. And then we can use the soybean crop to then kind of pay back some of this loan once we sell it, once it's finished harvesting. So let's just max this all the way out. There we go. And do we want the back attacher? Well, not really. Well, it's only 800, so we might as well. Let's buy that harvester. There we go. That's now waiting for us at the store. So let's cycle through. And there it is. The massive Case Sugarcane. The sugarcane harvester, the 8800. This thing is a bit of a beast. It's a really big, imposing piece of machinery, and I really do like using this. It is very different to what you're kind of used to. You've got this big grill here right in front of us, which kind of obscures our view a little bit, but this is the interior of it. It's a really nice sort of laid out interior. Obviously the Case branding on the seat there. A little unusual in that we don't have any kind of dials or display right in the centre, just there. You know, everything we need is basically on that screen just there. And then we do have some more gauges just there as well. Not entirely sure what those gauges are for actually. I don't know if that's a fill level perhaps. We can't actually store anything in this combine, so I don't think it's a fill level. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what those gauges themselves are for, but let's get this back to the farm. Just the one beacon on this thing. You get the feeling it needs more than just a single beacon. But there it is. Actually, let's get rid of that excuse me. Let's get rid of that help window. There we go. Big old imposing thing. We're not going to be using this obviously straight away. We're still going to let our sugarcane continue to grow. But now we do actually have it for when we need it. So the contracting, binge that I've been on to earn a load of money is now kind of over. I will continue to do a little bit of contracting here and there, but now we're getting to the point where we can perhaps start to ease off on some of the sheer amount of contracting that I've been doing, just to get our money back up again. And I have been thinking as well about how we can actually go ahead and turn this into a proper plantation. And the idea I've come up with so far is that we're going to have fields 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 and 8 as sugarcane fields. And then fields 4 and 5, well, field 4 and 5 are probably going to get removed and just roll back into flat land underneath, or at least, you know, just bare ground underneath. Because we're going to have so much sugarcane produced off those 6 fields, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 and 8, that even our brand new storage unit just there is not going to cope. So we're going to need at least, I would say, 2 more of those. So fields 5 and 4 are going to probably get rolled out of the way to make space for those brand new storage units. And then we can have, as I say, those 6 fields right here at the centre of the farm, in the centre of the map, as our sugarcane plantation. And then everything else we can look at doing crop. So we'll move on to field 15 and field 13 and use those as crop fields. We'll also look at maybe moving off to fields down below us or around the side of us and using those as crop fields as well. And all of that will be done, as I say, to give us a nice big sugar plantation in the middle. Right, now we're back here. Let's get the help menu back on. Let's see how I can... see if I can actually move the pipe. I don't think I can. What about if I unfold the harvester? No. I was wondering whether or not I would have control of that pipe at the back, and I think that's just automatically controlled. We don't actually have control of that, so that's a shame, because I know it's not going to fit inside this building. It's just going to be a little bit too tall, I'm pretty sure of that. I think that tail, so to speak, you know, that pipe is, yep, it's going to catch. So we could get it in, but then we might, well, it's in now. Once we're in, we're fine. So maybe coming in from a side. No, again, those girders are going to be in the way. That's a little bit of a shame, a little bit disappointing, the fact that it's just not quite high enough. I don't know where we could actually store this without building a specialised storage area for it. Unless maybe, actually, if I move the voucher, I might go into that little corner, because the angle is different. So let's move the voucher out of the way. I've actually decided to change the location of where certain things are just a little bit. But let's see if we can actually back it in just here. Oops. Ooh, it's awkward. Let's try driving straight in first instead, see if it makes it easier. Being tracked, this thing turns really sharply. What about if we were to just sneak it under? We can kind of get away with parking it just here, but it sticks out an awful lot. I think we're just going to end up having to create a tunnel somewhere for this. We'll leave it there for now. But at some point, yeah, we are going to have to build a little shed somewhere for this thing, which is a little bit of a shame. You say, it would have been perfect to maybe go in just here where the Euroboss is, but again, that's just not high enough. That awning there, that entranceway. So a little disappointing that Giants didn't build an area entrance high enough for us to actually get their equipment in here. That does seem just a little short-sighted on their part, I think. Yeah, this is going to be the new bay for our forklift. It just makes sense to have it in here, right next to pallets. It fits through that doorway nice and easily, so we'll keep that in there. The Massey now lives where the forklift used to, so you'll just see it in there. And then around the back, they've just got the bucket just sticking out at the far end. That's actually detached at the moment. So we've got that there. The trailer's probably still going to live in there, but I mean they use so much that I generally just tend to leave them out. So I might possibly make that a tractor bay instead. And speaking of tractors, well, you can see we're spraying away onto the second field, running low on fertilizer. We're going to have to get that topped up in a moment. And if we scroll through, you can also see our combine is ready to go, so we're going to get that started. Now, this field has been expanded and stretched, as you know, ever so slightly. Made a little bit wider and a little bit longer on all directions. And we need something to pull those trailers. We'll use the Massey for that, I think. Oh, you're kidding me. Is he not going to let me out of here now? There we go. It's a little bit of a height issue trying to get in and out of there, but it's not too bad. There we go. So I've been using our little fuel tanker over there quite a lot to make sure that my vehicles stay topped up. I've had to top up at least 2 of the tractors and the combine since we dropped it in there. So it's probably running out of fuel. It only holds 1,000 litres and it has used up quite a fair bit. So I am curious as to how much we've actually got left in there. Let's find out. You may have noticed as well, we no longer have a Chieftain low loader trailer. That's not by choice. That was because I updated it. We had just 200 litres left. Okay, we had a whole load of mods go live, and we had some updates for other mods as well. And as a result of updating, that's not going to fit. That's not going to fit in there. It's too big. As a result of updating the Chieftain, it disappeared. It's not the first time that that's happened. I've updated other mods in the past, and I've had to then buy them back onto the farm because they disappeared. Most notably, or most recently, would have been the Krona Big Baler, the Big Pack, which is this one here, the Big Pack 120/80. I have one of those on Mustang Valley on Big Bud Farm, and when that got updated a little while back, that disappeared as well. So I had to buy another one of those. I mean, these are only 12,000, so they're not that expensive. And hopefully, Chieftain, yeah, it's only 18.5. It's not too expensive to buy back. We obviously do not have the money to do that right now because we've just bought an incredibly expensive combine for our sugarcane. But we will be buying another one of those back as soon as I have enough spare cash to do so. And speaking of other stuff that's gone live as well, obviously you had a quick glimpse. We have auto-load trailers now, so we can hold 24 bales on this one, or 30 bales on this one. This one is for round bales, this one is for square bales. And it's really great that we are actually getting, finally, auto-load trailers onto the consoles. These are obviously going to be a little bit tricky for some people to use because they are the ones with an axled dolly on the front. So reversing with these is not going to be easy. It's going to be more of a challenge. But yes, we have auto-load trailers now, which is fantastic. Absolutely, really, really happy about that. And as I say, we've had so many mods go live recently. We've had more buildings go live. We've had new balers, new bale trailers, all sorts of different things that have gone live. We also have a brand new New Holland baler, which we might try out on this farm actually. And this is it, the Big Baler 960A. It's 84,000. And what is significant about this baler is that it bales 4,500 litre bales as opposed to 4,000 litre bales. Now, it doesn't sound like a massive difference, but it's actually quite significant. If you've got a large amount of straw, then you might generate, say, let's see, let's do some quick calculations here. Let's say we've got 200,000 litres of straw that we need to pick up. Now, if we do that by 4,000 litre bales, that's 50 bales. If we do that instead by 4,500 litre bales, that's 44 and a bit. So you have 45 bales, or 44 bales and a bit left over. Now, like I say, it doesn't sound significant, but when you consider that consoles have a bale limit of 200, the fact that we can now have bigger bales, potentially, and I don't know if this is definitely the case because I haven't actually tested this theory yet because I just haven't had the time. But, you know, the theory behind this means that because we now have bigger bales, we can potentially actually bale up more product before we hit that bale limit. And we'll still only have a maximum of 200 bales, but those bales will be bigger. So by gaining an extra 500 litres per bale, yeah, that's potentially an awful lot more product. I mean, a lot of people don't tend to do huge numbers of bales anymore for storing product, because we now obviously have the forage and chip silos, and also that silo just there, which allows us to also store forage stuff as well, so grass, hay and straw, etc, etc. But for those of us that still like doing baling and storing bales for grass and for hay and silage bales maybe, that's actually quite a significant thing. Like I said, the fact that we can now store larger bales, if the bale limit remains unchanged with these larger bales, then, you know, that allows us to actually generate and store more product before we hit our bale limit. So that's actually quite a significant thing. So hopefully we'll see more of that going forward. It's also quite significant in the sense that, you know, we are getting one step closer to having a baler that can actually be configurable with different bale outputs on the same baler. Yeah, we are moving just that little bit closer to that now. And I can't see where I need to restart this from. Oh, it's pretty close. So I'm going to have to look through the crop cover just here, see if I can find it. This looks to be it. I think this is it. It's a little hard to tell, but this looks to be where we ran out, just here. Yes, it is. There we go. Okay, so we'll get the sprayer going again. We need to empty our combine. And I don't think it's going to... I think we're going to have to stop it and manually unload it. I don't think it's going to make it all the way down again. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's 95%. It's not going to do it. I do want to upgrade this combine at some point in the future as well, or at least get a second combine that's a little bit bigger to help out with our harvesting. But right now, sugarcane is going to be our main focus, so we had to get that sugarcane harvester in. Oh, my throat. Especially seeing as we actually have two big fields of sugarcane that are growing, we obviously need a way to harvest those when they're done. So that was much more pressing, because we don't have another field outside of these three. So as we expand our land holdings to bring in additional fields, then yes, we will start to look to bring in additional harvesting equipment as well. But for now, we're just going to have to kind of make do with our little bison here. Let's get this back on the grain. This could actually turn out to be quite a nice, profitable little field for us now that we've extended it. Here's hoping. There we go. So, how close are we to finishing off spraying? Pretty close. So yeah, as I said, those are my plans for this area up here. We're going to get rid of fields 4 and 5, or at least one of those fields, and turn that into a new sort of sugarcane storage area. Maybe both of them. Could be a bit tricky because you can actually see the undulation in those fields. It could mean that placing one of those shelters just there is going to be very awkward because of the way that the hills roll a little bit. We'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, there's plenty of land up here that we can actually do sugarcane work on. The other option is to maybe put them where field 1 is and have sugarcane storage just up there, and then combine fields 4 and 5, and then have field 3 as a separate field, and then field 6, and then 7 and 8. So there's a little bit of flexibility in that layout, but we'll see how that works out. going forward. Let's move this out of the way. I need to figure out exactly where I'm going to put this now. Actually, no, let's just get this harvester out of here because that's just going to screw everything up. We'll go and park this next to our brand new silo, I think. Yeah, it's too tall, look. Let's park this over here. That's something we're going to have to be very wary of as well. Whatever building we do end up putting down, we've got to make sure it's tall enough to actually fit that overflow pipe at the back. Because I say that thing does stick up an awful lot. It's really, really tall, as you can see. So that could potentially be a major issue. It'll certainly be a big factor in whichever building we do choose to cover it and store it in. Let's get this voucher lined up. It looks as though we might actually have the Horsch pack on the way as well. We have a Horsch CTF currently in testing. Now, I'm not 100% certain if that is actually the Horsch pack, because I would imagine it would have said the Horsch aggravation when it goes into testing, but it just says Horsch CTF. So that may possibly be the Horsch pack on its way to consoles. Giants have said they are working on reworking some of the code, but I was expecting that to come out next year rather than this year. So, mind you, I was expecting it to come out next year for PC as well, and then it came out really, really, really early. A lot earlier than pretty much everybody thought it was going to come out. So, maybe it is the Horsch pack. That'll be kind of cool to get the Horsch pack before Christmas if we can. We also have the first set of maps now updated for sugarcane users as well. So if you want to play on Mustang Valley, if you want to play on American Outback, if you want to play on Golden Days of Farming, or if you want to play on Hagenstedt and you want to do sugarcane, those 4 maps have now been updated to add in sugarcane. There is also a patch in the works still for Who Dare Ranch, still waiting for that, and that one's mainly getting tripped up in testing, I think, because of the changes that Shu is making to the railway system. So I think that's why that one still hasn't gone live. We have also got an update coming for I say an update, we've got a release coming for the Valley, the Old Farm. Now, we do know that that does have sugarcane as standard built into it, so there won't need to be an update to that. The launch of that map will already have sugarcane as standard. And then beyond that, there are a couple more maps that are currently in testing as well. One is a map called Gorala. Gorale, Gorala. It's a Polish farm, and that is the Polish pronunciation of Gorala. And that's quite an interesting looking map. It's been in testing for a few days, and hopefully that'll be passing pretty soon. That'll be quite an interesting map to have a try out on. And there's another brand new map that's also in testing as well, and that is New Bartelhofen, I think, or something like that. I can't remember the name. Let me see if I can quickly find the name of that video. Not that video, sorry, that map. I want to make sure I get the name right. So we just finished spraying this bit of field. The farm doesn't want to load for some reason. Oh, there we go. New Bartelshagen. That's it. It's New Bartelshagen. That is the other map that is currently in testing. Now, both of those are available on PC. So if you type those into Google, you should be able to find them on one of the PC mod sites like FSUK or ModSource or wherever. Those are available already on PC and have been for a while, I think, in the case of at least one of those 2 maps. But yeah, both of those are in testing to come to console. Gorala is a big map, really big map. Lots and lots of fields, over 100 fields. So that one's going to be very interesting when it does make its way over, as to just how big that thing really is. It's got to be really kind of stretching the limits of what we can get on a console in terms of size. And on top of that, New Bartelshagen is almost kind of the opposite. I mean, it's got quite a large surface area by the look of it, but there's some, not a huge number of fields, but quite large fields. And I've been told that has a kind of an American sort of Midwest kind of feel, sort of an Ohio kind of feel in terms of the shape and design of the fields and placement of the fields. I don't know if that's obviously going to translate into the map itself. We'll just have to wait and see with that one. Once that map goes live, we'll get a tour up as well, as quick as we can. But yeah, we've got an extra couple of maps coming, and I saw something this morning as well while we're on the subject of maps that is encouraging, but is not necessarily a confirmation of anything. Bullet Bill is doing a final update to the West Coast on PC, which is going to add in sugarcane. It's also going to add in some new soil textures and some other little bits and bobs. No mention as to whether or not that is also going to be applied to consoles. So we may not get that update. We'll have to kind of wait and see what Bill says going forward on that, as to whether he's going to give us an update for consoles that'll add sugarcane in. He's obviously going to be doing it for the PC, so I would imagine at the very least we will get sugarcane added in to the console version going forward. As for the other stuff with the custom soil textures that are being added in, I don't know if we'll get those, just simply because of the amount of work it's going to take him to do those additions. He may just add sugarcane and leave it at that. Again, we'll have to wait and see what Bill says. He's not made an official statement that I've seen yet, whether or not we're going to get a big shiny patch for consoles. So we'll just have to kind of play that one by ear and see what happens. Right, where are we up to with this field? Looks like we're about halfway through it. Yeah, just about halfway through. We've got not that much actually. We've only got 6,000, 7,000 litres off this field so far. So we're looking at a total harvest yield of maybe 15,000 litres. That's not that much, really. But it is the only crop that we have, or the only crop field that we have. So after this, we're going to have to be sort of speeding time up, replanting, fertilising, and I guess I'll be doing some contracting work as well in between to kind of pass the time and look at getting us an extra field. I'd love to have field 15 as another field, because this is a big field. It's 385,000 though, as you can see. We do have a harvest mission available on it right now, which I will probably end up doing a little bit later. And you can see there the leftover straw from when I did another harvest mission. I had straw on that one just to help me kind of try and stay in a straight line, and forgot that the straw that spilled off the field would stay there permanently. So, well, we have a little bit of straw there if we ever need it until we own this field. But oh dear. But yeah, not the best situation there really, unfortunately. And I need to get some more liquid fertilizer for our sprayer, and of course I don't have my low loader anymore, so I can't bring any stock back to the farm, which is unfortunate. Luckily, we don't have anything that has a pressing need for fertilizing, so it gives me time to get some more work done before that becomes an issue. So I'm going to take over from the combine once it gets to the end of this pass, and we'll actually do a little bit of manual combining, I think, to sort of close this episode off, because it's been a little while since we've done some manual combining. There we go. I do love the squeaky brakes. It's a really nice little cab to just be in. This open top cab. I really do like it. I say that every time I'm in it, but it holds true every time. So just trying to make sure that I can actually not leave any bits behind. I'm getting dangerously close to drifting inside too much. A little course correction there should help keep us on track. Make sure we get that little lump on the edge. There we go. And I've been playing a lot of Elite Dangerous in my sort of downtime over the last couple of days as well. Which is actually, you know, it's a game that someone was asking me, well, a few people were asking me if I was going to do on the channel when it first came out. And at the time I had no plans to do it. I just thought, I don't know how well this game would work as a Let's Play. I don't know if it's a game I'm going to really enjoy that much. And yeah, a buddy of mine's been playing it pretty much non-stop since it came out, and I thought, you know what, I need to give this game a go. I managed to pick up a copy over Black Friday, a little bit cheaper, so I bought it and I've been playing it this week, and I'm actually quite enjoying it. I've been doing some sort of mining, not mining, but sorry, some cargo missions, and I've been doing, you know, a little bit of bounty hunting, although not overly successful. I've also been doing some passenger stuff. I've just recently started doing passenger shuttles as well. Bought myself a new passenger liner yesterday, and been running out some tourists and refugees and so on and so forth in my Dolphin. So I think I might try and sort of do a few sort of sporadic videos on Elite Dangerous coming up over the next couple of weeks as well. See if we can get a couple of those up on there. You know, just sort of pick a contract and just run that contract for that episode. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure how that will translate into a Let's Play. Like I say, it won't be a regular thing. We'll probably do a little bit here and a little bit there kind of thing. Just, you know, pick up a particular contract and make our way off and do that. Or if we're doing some cargo, maybe pick up, you know, a few different cargo missions all going to a similar area, and then make a cargo run. We'll have a look. But yeah, Elite Dangerous is actually quite a lot of fun. So I will be continuing to play that through into next year, and don't forget we have F1 coming to the channel in January-ish as well. We'll be starting a race series, and we'll do sort of, you know, little bits of F1 trivia and race news, and just, you know, general F1 information in those videos as well. So hopefully as well, with my internet being at a better quality at the other place, hopefully it'll be good enough to allow me to maybe do a little bit of streaming every now and again. Obviously it'll be a shared accommodation, so I won't be the only person using the internet, so I can't just hog the whole thing. But if the internet is strong enough to maybe allow a little bit of streaming going forward, then we will look at maybe streaming 100% race distances. So plenty of stuff to sort of keep us going. Obviously we've got new farms that will be on the way in the new year, with Fent Farm and Massey Manor returning. Big Bud Farm will be returning in the new year as well, as we continue our march towards owning the entire map. I have been doing a little bit of off-camera work on that map as well, just here and there. I've been picking up some new pieces of equipment for the sort of second half of the season, and also been putting down some prep work for the next series of episodes as well. So that'll be returning in the new year as well. So plus we have all these new maps that are coming as well, so there'll be map tours and maybe new let's plays on these new maps as well. I'm really looking forward actually to Gorala coming, because it'll give me the opportunity to maybe do a Rostelmush let's play, because I really want to try out the new Rostelmush combine. I've installed it, but I haven't used it yet. Here it is, the RSM 161. This is the brand new one that was given away free at Agritechnica, and then a few days later became available to everybody on PC and on console, with its own header as well. And the header is this one here, the Draper Steam 900 or Stream 900, with has a folding trailer attachment onto it, so it'll have a little arm to connect, and then also wheels underneath as well, so you can actually pull it in the same way that you can with these 45-foot Drapers, how they have folding header trailers. That little Power Stream 900 is exactly the same. So it's a really, really nice little combine. I've used it very, very briefly once in a test. It works really nicely, and I want to use it properly. We haven't used Rostelmush at all in any of our Let's Plays, apart from I think maybe one might have popped up briefly as a contracted harvester. And even then, I don't think it did. I think that might have just been off-camera stuff that I did. But yeah, of all the different farms that I've done, I haven't really, specifically used any Rostelmush stuff. Not since Farming Sim 15. And now that we have that third combine, it's kind of a good opportunity, I think, for us to actually maybe try and do a Polish or Eastern European kind of theme. So, you could do, obviously, Bison, Polish combine company, although I don't know if they actually... they must sell Bisons in Poland, I would imagine. But I know that they're licensed to sell in Brazil, which is obviously where this is set. You've got the Rostelmush brand, and in their kind of Eastern Bloc area, so they're Russian, I believe. You've also got the Zeta, which I think are either Polish or Czech, I think. We could also, re-download the Kirovitz Russian tractor. There's all that sort of Eastern Bloc, Eastern European kind of equipment that we haven't really used before would perhaps be perfect for a themed Gorala playlist. So that would be quite interesting to see what we decide to do with that going forward. Again, it depends on the map, depends on what we've actually got running at the time. We'll see. See if Gorala even makes it, for starters. It might not even make it onto console. And there's definitely all kinds of... I'm supposed to be doing this myself, aren't I? There we go. There's definitely all kinds of options, for us going forward with additional Let's Plays and theme farms and so on and so forth. So, and of course, we also have City Skylines as well. That's still running strong. Obviously, it's been suffering the same delays as my Farming Sim coverage for the same reasons, moving house, but that's still running strong with our Snowfall playlist. I'm still recording episodes for that, still trying to get those done wherever possible. And then going forward with that, we know that at some point staggered throughout 2018, we're going to have additional DLC coming out. So we're going to have natural disasters, we're going to have mass transit, we're going to have some creator studio stuff going live as well, including radio, which the radio I'm not really bothered about, especially seeing as I probably won't have it switched on while we're playing for the channel, because depending on what it is, maybe may incur copyright issues. So yeah, we will definitely have plenty of Skylines stuff coming up in next year as well. I'm always keeping my eye out for new games as well. There's one that I have heard of and seen a little bit of footage, and that's Railway Tycoon, which comes out in January, which I am looking at as a potential additional game for the channel. People have been asking me as well about The Sims 4. At the moment, I don't have any plans to do The Sims 4. It may change in the new year, but as things stand right now, I have no kind of real plans, as I say, to do a Sims playlist. It's a game I think that I'm just not going to have that much time for, and I think you're going to need time for that game. So until that kind of situation changes, we probably won't do The Sims 4. But never say never. We may well do it in the future, once it's been out a little while and it's come down in price, and some of my other stuff has died off a little bit, and we've replaced it with something different. Maybe a Sims will be a game that we can look at in the future months. But as for the immediate future, there are no plans for The Sims 4. We have almost finished this field. We're making pretty good progress. I wonder if we can... I was going to say, I wonder if we can get this field finished. And the answer I've just seen, my grain count, is no. We're going to have to unload. And we're going to unload at the end of this pass. Let's pull the pipe out. I don't know why the AI keeps missing a little patch along the edge, and I think I've actually missed all the way down the edge. Maybe not. It's hard to tell. But, let's unload the combine. And then hopefully we should be able to finish the rest of it off with just one tank. What other news is there? Oh yes, Spintires is getting a big patch soon. I think the patch comes out next week or this week coming for PC, and then it should arrive on console a couple of weeks later, according to Focus Home. And they are actually fixing quite a few issues that people have been complaining about. You know, they're listening to what people are saying is wrong, and they are working to fix it pretty quickly. I mean, the game's been out a month, and you know, we've got quite a substantial patch coming, you know, already. I'm not entirely sure the full details of the PC version, because I kind of skipped through that to get to what's coming to consoles, being as I play on console. And the big news is, well, there's multiple big news. The first big news applies to everybody. New camera mode is coming. A lot of people are incredibly critical of the camera system in Spintires. It really is a little bit clunky in places. I actually quite like it for the most part, but there are times when it does frustrate the hell out of me. But we're getting a new camera. We're getting a new fixed camera that will rotate around the vehicle in the same way that we have this camera. We're getting one of these basically on Spintires, a camera that is fixed in position on a vehicle and will rotate around it, you know, evenly. That's fantastic news. You know, it's an optional camera, so it's not going to replace the existing camera system. It's going to be an addition to it, so you'll be able to choose which camera that you want. So that's kind of cool. Whether it'll be you'll have 3 cameras to cycle through, or whether you'll you'll have to choose which one of the two you want to use in the game. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens when the patch is actually implemented. But that's the first patch bit of information. They're also making it easier to stack logs on trailers. A lot of people have been having a huge amount of trouble trying to align a trailer so that the logs can be packed down once they've been loaded in. It is, in some cases, ungodly awkward and difficult on certain trailers, way more difficult than it should have been and needed to be. And that is now being made easier, so it'll be much easier to actually pack those trailers down and keep the trailer aligned properly. So that's good to see. A lot of people have been complaining about that as well. And consoles are getting wheel support. Once the patch goes live for consoles, they will actually have a full breakdown of exactly which wheels will be supported. So don't ask me, because at this stage I don't know, but they will let us know nearer the time exactly which wheels will be supported. So that is going to be great news. If you own a G29, I think it's pretty safe to say that, or on Xbox a G920, I think it's pretty safe to say that you will be fine. Beyond that, I would imagine maybe a Thrustmaster will be fine. I mean, there's so many different models of wheel, etc. out there that, it's impossible to say exactly which ones are going to be workable and which ones aren't. But yeah, consoles are getting wheel support for Spintires, which is amazing news. It's one of those games that just deserved wheel support on console, and now we're finally getting it. It does make me wonder as well if we'll get a fully manual gearbox, because I know we do. I know PC users can have a fully usable manual gearbox. I wonder if we'll get that on console as well. But the main thing, the main part of that news is wheel support is definitely coming. So it'll be a few weeks away, by the sound of it. So sort of towards mid-end of December, I would imagine. But once we do get it, we will have the ability to actually play Spintires, I think, the way it should be played. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using a controller, but being able to use a wheel on a game like that, I think it's just exactly what what wheels were designed for. It's for games like that. So that's going to be fantastic news. Really can't wait for wheel support to be added into the game, especially because I am now the proud owner of a G29. It arrived yesterday. My G29 with pedal set, very heavily discounted because of Black Friday. Wasn't planning on buying a wheel, wasn't planning on buying anything this Black Friday, and then someone messaged me a link, check out this price, it's dirt cheap. Checked it out, it was dirt cheap, and I thought, you know what, I kind of have to. So because I love my Formula 1 games, it made perfect sense to pick up a cheap G29 while I had the opportunity. And obviously, you can use a wheel on this game as well, which is going to be a lot of fun to kind of drive around tractors and combines using a wheel. I'm looking forward to that. And of course, Spintires has just been announced as getting wheel support, so I can now use my wheel for that as well. I mean, it's brilliant. The three games that I really love to play all have wheel support now, so timing was just perfect, really, on that one, I suppose. So I've got that. It's sitting right next to me, actually, waiting to be unpacked and unboxed. I have had a quick look at the inside of it, but I'm not going to set it up because I'm only going to have to take it down again later today for when that moves, probably tomorrow or in the next couple of days. So yeah, really looking forward to getting my wheel up and running as well. So it's all go. It's all go here at the moment. As I say, lots and lots of stuff that needs to be done, and then hopefully I can get back to a much more settled kind of release schedule in the next couple of weeks. But it's definitely going to be a bit hectic, a bit manic, and a bit sporadic over the next few weeks, next couple of weeks, as I get the last of my stuff kind of boxed and moved, and then get settled in and unpacked and unboxed and get all my stuff kind of set up the way I want it and where I want it. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a very interesting couple of weeks, but once that's done, everything should go back to normal and we should get nice regular release videos on a pretty good consistent timetable. So that's pretty much the end of this episode. Then we have a little bit more than I thought we were going to get. Actually, we've got 16,738. I thought we were going to get around about 15,000, 14.5 to 15,000 litres. So we actually managed to squeeze a little bit more off the field than I was hoping for, which is great. Let's go store this in our silo. And then next time we will be attacking our sugarcane. So thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I will see you back on the farm very soon.